Hello again. It's hard for me to say it's good to see you because I can't see you, but you can see me, I hope. But it's good to be with you again, even this way. The last time I was here I told you a story about a holy man and a precious stone. Today I want to tell you a different story, but this time about a stone cutter. Someone who used to carve stones for buildings or for monuments. Might call them a stone mason. But this was a stone cutter who found himself really very discontented with life. The stone cutter would spend his days in his workshop chiselling stones. And when he had shaped his stone, he would then put it in his wheelbarrow and head off to wherever it was he was to take it. One day he had one of his big stones in a wheelbarrow and he found himself going past the house of one of the wealthiest businessmen in the village. He looked up the drive and he saw up the drive this big house and a big car, and it looked as though there were very important visitors to the house, and he just thought, my goodness, he's got a far better life than I have. I wish my life was like his. I wish I were a big wealthy businessman. Well, no sooner had he wished it than he looked and found himself in an expensive suit and in a big house. And he realised that he had very important friends all of a sudden. But he also realised that some people didn't like him much. Some people were envious of him and didn't trust him. So he began to be a little discontented with even having all this wealth. But he had important visitors round, and one day he looked and coming past was someone from the royal family. Huge car, bigger car than his. Police outriders in front of and behind the car, and he thought, my goodness, that person's even more powerful, more important than me. Wouldn't it be wonderful? I wish I could be a king. All of a sudden, he was a king. He found himself in the big car, getting out of the big car, everyone bowing down to him. He realised how important he was now, how powerful he was now. But as he stood there watching a huge parade go by, an endless parade, he stood there in the sun and he began to feel very hot and very sticky and very uncomfortable. And as he looked up at the sky, he thought, do you know what's more powerful than a king? The sun. I wish I could be like the sun. Suddenly he found himself, he was up in the sky and he was looking down in the earth and he was shining down, this bright light down on everyone, and he thought, how powerful am I? As the farmers and labourers looked up and shook their fists at him and said, go away, oh please go away. What power I have now, he thought, how important I am now. But then, as he was shining down in the earth, this huge black cloud came between him and the earth, and it blocked him out. And he thought, that's more powerful than me. It can block me out. I wish I were a cloud. And of course, all of a sudden, he was a cloud, a big dark cloud. And he found himself pouring rain down upon the earth. And he thought, this is power, as it began to fill up all the rivers, flood the rivers, flood all the villages. And of course, people again began to shout up, go away, please, go away. I'm the most powerful thing you can get. I can even block out the sun, he thought. Well, no sooner had he said that and thought that, than this wind came and blew him away. And he thought, what on earth's happening here now? This wind is even stronger than me. I thought I was the most powerful thing, and now it's the wind is more powerful than me. He found himself saying, I wish I were like the wind. That's the most powerful thing. Suddenly, he was this strong wind blowing across the earth. He was blowing tiles off houses. He was blowing down trees, making everyone scared. Everyone was huddling indoors to be safe. I am the most powerful thing now. I am the strongest. Until he realised, although some things were blowing away, some things were blowing down, he came across this huge, huge rock that stood in his road, and no matter how hard he blew, he couldn't move this rock. That rock is more powerful than me. Something more powerful than the wind. I wish I were a rock. No sooner had he said it than here he was, this huge rock standing there, proud and tall and important and strong. I am now the most important, most powerful thing in the world. And as he stood there, feeling so proud and chuffed with himself and so important, he heard a noise. And he realised, as he thought, what could be more powerful and important than a rock? A stonecutter. The past wee while for us all has been really quite difficult at times, and we've all perhaps felt a little more anxious than usual. Sometimes we've all felt a little sadder than usual, and perhaps a little more discontent than usual. I hope that after the summertime, I hope that as we all perhaps move to new places or to a new class, whether we're a pupil or a teacher, that we find a contentment, that we find our place, that we realise that we shouldn't be discontent with who we are and spend our time kind of wishing we were someone else or like someone else or in a different place. To find that contentment within, as the stonecutter finally found, that's perhaps the most important thing we can discover. To discover and be content with who we are.